Before this video ends, you may realize that the person you have been searching for has been silently walking beside you your entire life, not hidden in another relationship, not waiting in your future, not at the end of success, but within you. From the day you were born, the world taught you to become someone, become successful, become admired, become stronger, become more attractive, become more important. So you kept changing yourself, believing that one more improvement would finally make you feel complete. But let me ask you something. After everything you have achieved, why does a part of you still feel empty? Why does peace disappear so quickly? And why does it always feel like something is still missing? Perhaps you have not been searching for the wrong thing. You have simply been searching in the wrong place. The Buddha taught that the greatest loss is not losing another person. It is losing yourself while trying to become someone else. Tonight, you will discover 7 timeless Buddhist truths that may completely change the way you see your mind, your life, and your true self. Stay with me until the very end, because the final lesson reveals the one truth that most people never discover. And once you see it, you may never search for happiness outside yourself again. You have been searching everywhere except the only place that matters. Imagine that one day you lose a precious necklace inside your own house. It is something you truly love, something you would never want to lose. But instead of searching every room in your home, you immediately run outside. You ask strangers if they have seen it. You walk through busy streets, visit crowded markets, search quiet parks, climb mountains, and travel from one place to another, believing that somewhere out there, someone will help you find what you lost. Days turn into months. Months turn into years. You become tired, frustrated, and disappointed because no matter how far you travel, the necklace never appears. Then one day, an old man quietly asks you a simple question. Are you sure you lost it outside? You stop walking. For the first time, you become silent. You return home. You slowly search the rooms you ignored from the beginning. And there it is, exactly where it had always been. The necklace was never lost outside. Only your attention was. Most people hear a story like this and think it is just a beautiful lesson, but very few realize this is the story of almost every human life. You have spent years searching for peace. You searched for it in people who promised they would never leave. You searched for it in success, believing that once you reached a certain level, you would finally feel enough. You searched for it in money, hoping it would remove every fear. You searched for it in relationships, thinking another person could fill the emptiness inside your heart. You searched for it in approval, waiting for someone to finally tell you that you were good enough. Each time something new entered your life, it felt exciting. A new job, a new phone, a new relationship, a new dream. For a little while, your heart felt lighter. You smiled more. You felt hopeful. You believed that this was the missing piece you had been searching for. But then something strange happened. The excitement slowly disappeared. The happiness became normal. Your mind became restless again. Without even noticing, you started searching for something else. Another goal, another relationship, another achievement, another version of yourself. This cycle continued again and again until searching became your way of living. You were no longer chasing one thing. You were chasing the feeling that the next thing would finally make you complete. The Buddha understood this deeply. He saw that the human mind has a habit that keeps people trapped their entire lives. It always whispers the same sentence. Just one more. Just one more achievement. Just one more person. Just one more success. Just one more chance. Just one more possession. Then everything will finally be okay. But notice something. Has your mind ever said, this moment is enough? Or does it always point toward tomorrow? This is why so many people spend their lives running without ever arriving. They are like a thirsty traveler crossing a hot desert. In the distance, they see what looks like water. They become excited. They begin running toward it. The faster they run, the more the water seems to move away. Hours later, they realize it was only a mirage. Then another mirage appears, and they begin running again. Life becomes an endless chase, not because they are weak, but because they are chasing something that cannot be found where they are looking. Many people believe that peace is waiting somewhere in the future. They say to themselves, "When I finally earn enough money, I will relax. When I finally meet the right person, I will be happy. When people respect me, I will feel valuable. When I become successful, I will finally love myself." These thoughts sound reasonable, but have you noticed something? Every time you reach one destination, your mind quietly creates another. The finish line keeps moving. The mountain never seems to end. Some people achieve everything they once dreamed about. They have money, a beautiful house, a respected career. Many people admire them. Yet when they sit alone in silence, a quiet voice still asks, "Why do I still feel something is missing?" That question is one of the most important questions a person can ever ask, because it reveals something the mind has been hiding. The emptiness was never asking for another achievement. It was asking for your attention. It was asking you to stop running. It was asking you to come home. But home is not a country. It is not a building. It is not another relationship. Home is the place inside you where awareness has always been waiting. Think about who you were before the world began giving you names, before people called you successful or unsuccessful, before someone told you that you were attractive or unattractive, before anyone compared you with another person, before social media told you who you should become, before your fears began controlling your decisions. There was simply awareness. You were present. You looked at the sky without trying to own it. You laughed without wondering what people thought. You experienced life before your mind started measuring everything. That awareness did not need applause. It did not need followers. It did not need permission to exist. It was already complete. Then slowly, the world began placing labels on you. You are smart. You are not smart enough. You are successful. You are a failure. You are beautiful. You are ordinary. You should become more. You should become someone else. Little by little, you believed those voices. Instead of knowing yourself directly, you started knowing yourself through other people's opinions. You built an identity from praise. You built another identity from criticism. You became afraid of losing the image people accepted. So you worked harder. You smiled even when you were hurting. You pretended to be strong when you were exhausted. You became the person everyone expected. But somewhere along the way, you stopped asking one simple question: who am I? When nobody is watching. That question changes everything, because the person you truly are is not the roles you play. You are not only your career. You are not your achievements. You are not your failures. You are not your relationships. You are not the opinions people have about you. Those things may be part of your experience, but they are not the deepest truth of who you are. The Buddha never told people to reject success. He never told people to reject love or relationships. He simply reminded them not to search for themselves inside things that constantly change. Because everything outside you changes. People change. Money changes. Your body changes. Your emotions change. Even your thoughts change from one moment to the next. If you build your happiness on things that keep changing, your peace will keep changing too. Real peace begins the moment you stop asking the world to tell you who you are. It begins when you become willing to sit quietly with yourself, not to fix yourself, not to judge yourself, not to become someone new, but simply to know yourself. Because the greatest discovery you will ever make is not finding the perfect life. It is discovering that the person you have been searching for all these years has been quietly living within you from the very beginning, and the moment you stop searching everywhere else, your real journey finally begins. You became who the world wanted and forgot who you were. When you were born, you did not worry about being accepted. You did not wake up wondering if people liked you. You did not compare your life with anyone else's. You simply lived. You laughed when you felt joy. You cried when you felt pain. You asked questions without fear of looking foolish. You were not trying to become someone. You were simply being yourself. But little by little, something changed. The world began teaching you who you should be. Your family had expectations. Your teachers had expectations. Your friends had expectations. Society had expectations. Without realizing it, you slowly stopped asking, "What feels true to me?" and started asking, "What do people want from me?" This is where many people lose themselves. Not in one dramatic moment, but in thousands of small moments. The first time you stayed silent, even though you wanted to speak. The first time you smiled, even though your heart was hurting. The first time you changed your personality just so someone would like you. None of these moments seemed important, but together they slowly built a person who looked like you, but no longer felt like you. The Buddha understood that suffering often begins long before pain appears. It begins when we stop living from our own awareness and start living from other people's expectations. Look at your own life. How many decisions have you made because they truly reflected your heart? And how many were made because you were afraid of disappointing someone? Maybe you chose a career, not because you loved it, but because it looked successful. Maybe you stayed in a relationship, not because it brought you peace, but because you feared being alone. Maybe you spent years trying to prove your worth to people who had already decided not to see it. Slowly, without noticing, you became a performer. Every room required a different version of you. One version at work, another with friends, another with family, another online. You became so skilled at wearing different masks that eventually you forgot which face was real. This is one of the quietest tragedies in life. Because people may love the person you pretend to be, while the real you remains hidden. Think about how exhausting that is. Every day, trying to say the right thing, trying to impress the right people, trying not to make mistakes, trying not to be judged, trying to fit into a world that keeps changing its standards. No wonder so many people feel tired. They are carrying a person they were never meant to become. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack every day for 20 years. At first, you notice the weight. After a while, you become used to it. Eventually, you forget you are even carrying it. Then one day, someone removes it. For the first time in years, you realize how heavy it really was. The false self works in the same way. You become so used to pretending that pretending feels normal. You become so used to seeking approval that you mistake it for love. You become so used to pleasing everyone that you forget your own needs even exist. The Buddha never asked people to create a better mask. He invited them to notice the mask itself, because the moment you see the mask, it begins to lose its power. Ask yourself something honestly. If nobody expected anything from you, who would you become? If nobody could judge you, how would you live? If nobody could praise you, would you still choose the same path? These questions are uncomfortable because they reveal how much of our life has been shaped by fear instead of awareness. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of not being enough. But here is something beautiful. You do not have to spend the rest of your life becoming someone else. You can stop, right now, not by changing the world, but by changing where you look. Instead of asking, "How can I make people accept me?" ask, "Why have I stopped accepting myself?" Instead of asking, "What image should I protect?" ask, "What truth have I been hiding?" The answers may not come immediately. That is okay. Self-discovery is not a race. It is a quiet return, like a river finding its way back to the ocean, slowly, naturally, without force. The person you truly are has never disappeared. They have simply been buried beneath years of expectations, beneath the fear of disappointing others, beneath the habit of comparing yourself, beneath the endless desire to be enough. But something buried is not something lost. It is still there, waiting, patiently. The real you has never been asking you to become perfect. It has only been waiting for you to stop pretending, because the greatest freedom is not when the world finally accepts you. The greatest freedom is when you no longer need the world to tell you who you are. And the moment you remember that, you take back something more valuable than success. You take back your own life. The voice you keep obeying is not your true self. Have you ever noticed that there is a voice inside your head that never seems to stop talking? From the moment you wake up until the moment you fall asleep, it is always there. Sometimes it reminds you of the past. Sometimes it worries about the future. Sometimes it judges other people. Most of the time, it judges you. It tells you that you are not doing enough, not successful enough, not attractive enough, not intelligent enough, not worthy enough. Then, on another day, the same voice tells you that you are better than everyone else. It praises you, it criticizes you, it comforts you, it frightens you, it changes its opinion every few minutes. Yet most people never question it. They simply believe everything it says. This is one of the greatest illusions the Buddha wanted us to see. The voice in your mind is not your true self. It is only a stream of thoughts. Thoughts come, thoughts go, but the one who notices those thoughts remains. Imagine sitting beside a river. Leaves are floating on the water. Some leaves are green. Some are brown. Some move slowly. Some disappear quickly. Would you jump into the river and hold on to every leaf that passes? Of course not. You would simply watch them float by. Your thoughts are like those leaves. Some thoughts are beautiful. Some are painful. Some are wise. Some are completely meaningless. Yet instead of watching them pass, most people grab every single one. They believe every fear. They believe every doubt. They believe every story their mind creates. Then they wonder why they feel trapped. Think about how many times your mind has lied to you. It told you everyone is judging you. Later, you discovered nobody was thinking about you at all. It told you, you will never recover from this. Yet somehow, you did. It told you, you are not good enough. But that thought was never a fact. It was only a sentence passing through your mind. Still, you believed it. The strange thing about the mind is that it speaks with confidence. It rarely says, "This might be true." Instead, it says, "This is reality." And because the voice sounds familiar, you trust it. But familiarity is not the same as truth. Imagine hearing the same song every single day for 20 years. Eventually, you would know every word. That does not mean the song is telling the truth. It simply means you have heard it many times. The same thing happens with your thoughts. If your mind repeats, "I am not enough," every day for years, that sentence begins to feel like your identity. Not because it is true, but because it has become familiar. The Buddha taught that suffering does not begin with thoughts. Thoughts will always appear. Suffering begins when we become attached to them, when we stop observing them and start becoming them. There is a huge difference between saying, "I notice a thought that says I am afraid," and saying, "I am afraid." One creates space, the other creates a prison. Most people have never experienced that space. They wake up and immediately become whatever the mind says. If the mind says today will be terrible, they believe it. If the mind says they are a failure, they carry that feeling all day. If the mind reminds them of an old mistake, they relive the pain as if it happened again. The mind becomes the master, and awareness becomes forgotten. But imagine something different. Imagine sitting quietly for a few moments. A worried thought appears. Instead of chasing it, you simply notice it. Another thought arrives. You notice that too. Then another, and another. Something surprising begins to happen. You realize that the thoughts keep changing. But the awareness noticing them never changes. That awareness is calm. It does not panic. It does not rush. It simply sees. This is the beginning of freedom, not because your thoughts disappear, but because they no longer control you. Think about the sky. Clouds pass through it every day. Some are white and peaceful. Some are dark and filled with storms. But the sky never becomes the clouds. It allows them to come. It allows them to go. Your awareness is like that sky. Your thoughts are only passing clouds. Some days your mind is filled with anger. Other days it is filled with joy. Some days it remembers painful memories. Other days it imagines beautiful futures. But none of those thoughts are permanent. Why then do you build your identity on something that changes every moment? One thought says, "You can do this." An hour later, another thought says, "You will fail." Which one is the real you? Neither. They are only visitors. The real you is the silent presence that notices both. This is why the Buddha encouraged people to observe the mind instead of obeying it. The mind is a useful servant. It helps you solve problems. It helps you remember names. It helps you learn new skills. But when it becomes your master, it fills your life with endless fear, because the mind survives by creating problems. Even when life is peaceful, it searches for something to worry about. Even when nothing is wrong, it asks, "What if something goes wrong tomorrow?" Have you ever noticed that many of the things you worried about never actually happened? Yet while you believed those thoughts, your body reacted as though the danger was real. Your heart raced. Your sleep disappeared. Your peace vanished. Not because reality was attacking you, but because your thoughts convinced you that it was. This is why awareness is so powerful. Awareness gently asks, is this thought actually true? Is this happening right now? Or is my mind creating a story? That one question has the power to break years of unconscious suffering, because once you begin questioning your thoughts, you stop being controlled by them. Slowly, the voice that once ruled your life becomes quieter. Not because you forced it to disappear, but because you stopped giving it complete authority. You realize something extraordinary. For your entire life, you thought you were listening to yourself. But you were only listening to your mind, and they are not the same. Your mind speaks, your awareness listens, your mind reacts, your awareness understands, your mind creates fear. Your awareness creates clarity. The moment you discover this difference, a door begins to open. Not the door to becoming someone new, but the door to finally meeting the one who has been quietly watching your entire life. And once you recognize that silent presence, the voice that once controlled you can never completely deceive you again. Stop improving the mask and meet the one behind it. Have you ever wondered why, no matter how much you improve yourself, it never feels like enough? You become more successful, yet you still worry about what people think. You become healthier, yet you still compare yourself with others. You become more confident, yet one small criticism can still shake your peace. You keep changing the outside, but something inside remains restless. Why? Because most people spend their lives improving the mask, instead of meeting the person behind it. Imagine an actor who wears the same costume every single day. At first, it is only for the stage, but after many years, the actor becomes so attached to the costume that they forget they are wearing one. They begin believing the costume is their real identity. If someone tries to remove it, they become afraid, not because the costume is valuable, but because they no longer remember who they are without it. This is exactly what happens to many people. The mask does not appear overnight. It is built little by little. Every time you hide your true feelings, the mask becomes stronger. Every time you pretend to be happy while your heart is breaking, the mask grows thicker. Every time you act like someone else just to be accepted, another layer is added. Year after year, you become an expert at looking fine, even when you are not. People tell you, you seem so confident, you always have everything together, you never look worried. They only see the mask. They cannot see the person quietly struggling behind it. The saddest part is this. After wearing the mask for so many years, you begin fooling yourself. You forget what your real voice sounds like. You forget what truly brings you joy. You forget what your heart has been trying to tell you. Instead of asking, what feels true, you begin asking, what looks good? Instead of asking, what brings me peace? You ask, what will impress people? Without realizing it, your life slowly becomes a performance. You perform confidence. You perform success. You perform happiness. You perform strength. Meanwhile, the real you waits patiently in silence, not angry, not disappointed, only waiting for the day you finally stop acting. The Buddha never taught people to create a more attractive identity. He taught them to see through every identity, because every label you give yourself can become another prison. Think about the labels you carry. I am successful. I am a failure. I am shy. I am confident. I am the responsible one. I am the one who always helps others. Some of these labels sound positive. Some sound painful, but all of them have one thing in common. They are stories. And a story is never the whole truth. The moment you believe a story is your entire identity, you stop discovering who you really are. Imagine holding a mirror that has become covered with dust. Instead of cleaning the mirror, you begin painting beautiful pictures on the dust. From a distance, it looks impressive, but no matter how beautiful the painting becomes, you still cannot see your own reflection. This is what happens when we spend all our energy improving the image, instead of clearing away the illusions. The world tells you, become more. The Buddha gently asks, who is trying so hard to become more? That question can completely change your life, because for the first time, your attention turns inward, not to criticize yourself, not to fix yourself, but to understand yourself. Many people believe self-discovery means adding something new, learning another skill, reading another book, following another teacher, but real self-discovery often happens through letting go of the fear of disappointing people, letting go of the need to always appear strong, letting go of the habit of comparing yourself, letting go of the endless pressure to be perfect. Each thing you release brings you one step closer to the person you have always been. Imagine standing in front of a beautiful statue hidden beneath a giant block of stone. A sculptor does not create the statue by adding more stone. They create it by removing what does not belong. Little by little, the true form begins to appear. Your life works the same way. You do not become your true self by adding endless improvements. You discover your true self by removing what has never belonged to you. The fear, the pretending, the constant need for approval, the endless comparisons, the false beliefs you accepted without questioning. As these layers begin to fall away, something remarkable happens. You feel lighter, not because life has become easier, but because you are no longer carrying an identity that was never truly yours. For the first time, you stop trying to prove your value. You stop chasing everyone's approval. You stop exhausting yourself by living according to other people's expectations. Instead, you begin listening to the quiet wisdom that has always lived within you. There is a peace that cannot be found through becoming someone else. It can only be found through remembering who you already are. This is why so many people reach the top of the mountain, only to discover they are still unhappy. They spent years improving the mask, but they never met the one wearing it. The greatest transformation in your life will not happen when the world finally recognizes you. It will happen when you recognize yourself. When you can sit alone, without needing to impress anyone, without pretending to be someone different, without fighting the present moment, and simply say, "This is who I am," not the person the world created, not the person fear created, not the person comparison created, but the quiet awareness that has been watching every chapter of your life from the very beginning. The day you stop polishing the mask and finally turn toward the one behind it is the day your search begins to end. Because the greatest treasure was never hidden beneath the world's approval. It was hidden beneath the identity you spent years trying to protect. And once you see that, you will never confuse the mask with your true self again. Everything you have been seeking is waiting inside your awareness. For most of your life, you have been taught that happiness is something you must earn. You must work harder, become better, own more, achieve more, be admired by more people. Only then you will finally feel peaceful. So you keep climbing, one goal after another, one dream after another, one destination after another. Each time you reach the place you once believed would change everything, your mind quickly chooses another destination. It says, "This is good," but there is still something missing. And once again, you begin running. Have you ever noticed that your mind is almost never satisfied? It always wants the next thing, the next success, the next relationship, the next opportunity, the next version of yourself. It keeps promising that peace is waiting somewhere ahead. But somehow, when tomorrow becomes today, peace moves further away. This is not because you are failing, it is because you are searching in the wrong direction. Imagine someone standing beside a beautiful lake. The water is perfectly still, so clear that it reflects the entire sky. Then the person begins throwing stones into the water, again and again and again. After a while they complain, "Why can't I see my reflection?" The problem is not the lake. The problem is the constant disturbance. Your awareness is like that peaceful lake. Your true nature has never disappeared, but your mind never stops throwing stones. One worry, one comparison, one fear, one regret, one endless desire after another. Then you wonder why you cannot feel peace. The peace has never left. It has simply been covered by the movement of your own mind. The Buddha often reminded people that suffering is not created because life keeps changing. Suffering grows because we keep resisting those changes. We want every happy moment to last forever. We want every painful moment to disappear immediately. We want people to stay exactly as they are. We want life to follow the plans we have made. But life has never promised to stay still. The seasons change. The weather changes. Your body changes. Your relationships change. Your thoughts change. Even the person you were 5 years ago no longer exists. If everything around you is constantly changing, why keep searching for permanent happiness in temporary things? It is like trying to build a house on moving sand. No matter how beautiful the house becomes, it will never feel completely safe. Many people spend their entire lives trying to control what cannot be controlled. They try to control what people think. They try to control who stays and who leaves. They try to control every future event. They try to control every outcome. And the more they try, the more anxious they become, because life refuses to obey the mind. The Buddha never said that peace comes from controlling life. He taught that peace comes from understanding life. There is a huge difference. One creates struggle, the other creates freedom. Look at a tree during a storm. The branches move with the wind. The leaves fall when the season changes. The tree does not fight the rain. It does not argue with the wind. It simply remains deeply rooted. Because of those roots, the storm cannot easily destroy it. Your awareness is like those roots. When you live only through your thoughts, every opinion shakes you. Every disappointment breaks you. Every criticism follows you for days. Every small problem feels enormous. But when you become rooted in awareness, life still brings storms. People will still misunderstand you. Plans will still fail. Loss will still happen. But something inside you remains steady. Not because your life has become perfect, but because you are no longer depending on changing things to create lasting peace. Think about the happiest moments of your life. Maybe it was watching a sunset, walking quietly through nature, holding the hand of someone you loved, listening to the rain, watching the stars. In those moments, did peace come because you owned something new? Or did peace come because, for a brief moment, your mind became quiet? For just a few seconds, you stopped chasing. You stopped comparing. You stopped worrying about tomorrow. You were simply present. That is why those moments felt so beautiful. Not because the outside world suddenly became perfect, but because your awareness was no longer hidden by constant thinking. The greatest misunderstanding is believing that awareness is something you must create. It is not. It has always been here. Right now, as you listen to these words, there is something inside you that is quietly aware of every sentence. It is aware of your breathing, aware of your thoughts, aware of your emotions. That awareness has been with you since childhood. It was there during your happiest moments. It was there during your greatest pain. It watched every success. It watched every failure. Yet it remained the same. Everything in your life has changed. Your face has changed. Your body has changed. Your dreams have changed. Your friendships have changed. Your beliefs have changed. But the awareness that noticed all those changes has never changed. This is why the Buddha encouraged people to know awareness instead of endlessly chasing experience. Experiences come and go. Awareness remains. The world tells you, find yourself by becoming more. Awareness whispers, you have never been less than enough. The world says, keep searching. Awareness says, stop running. The world promises peace tomorrow. Awareness quietly offers peace now, not because every problem has disappeared, but because you have stopped asking the future to give you what only the present can reveal. There comes a moment in every person's life when they become tired of chasing, tired of proving, tired of pretending, tired of comparing, tired of believing that one more achievement will finally silence the emptiness inside. That moment is not the end. It is the beginning, because only an exhausted seeker is finally willing to stop running. And only when the running stops can the heart hear what has been quietly calling it all along. The greatest treasure you have been searching for has never been hidden inside another person. It has never been hidden inside money, inside success, inside praise, or inside the future. It has always been resting within your own awareness, waiting, not for you to become someone new, but for you to finally become still enough to recognize what has never left you. And when that recognition happens, you no longer chase peace. You become it. The person you were searching for was never missing. Imagine spending your entire life searching for someone who could finally understand you, someone who could heal the emptiness inside you, someone who could remove your fear, someone who could make you feel complete. You search everywhere, in relationships, in success, in recognition, in the future. You believe that one day someone will arrive and your life will finally make sense. But what if the person you have been waiting for has been walking beside you since the day you were born? What if the greatest meeting of your life is not with another person, but with yourself? This is one of the deepest truths in Buddhist wisdom. The person you were searching for was never missing, only your attention was. For years, you looked outward, you watched the world, you listened to other people's opinions, you chased people's approval, you measured your worth through comparison. You believed your happiness depended on what happened outside you, but every step you took away from yourself made the search feel longer. Not because you were walking in the wrong direction, but because you never realized the journey was always meant to go inward. Think about a lamp in a dark room. The light has been there all along. But someone covers it with thick cloth. The room becomes dark. People begin searching for another lamp, another candle, another source of light. They search everywhere. Yet they never think about removing the cloth. Your true self is like that lamp. It has never stopped shining. It has simply been covered by fear, covered by comparison, covered by endless thinking, covered by the need to become someone else. The light was never lost. It was only hidden. The Buddha never said you needed to create peace. He taught that peace appears when the things covering it begin to disappear. Imagine the sky after many days of heavy clouds. Someone might say, the sun has finally returned. But has it? The sun never left. Only the clouds moved away. Your awareness is like that sun. Your true nature has never disappeared. Only the clouds of thought, fear, attachment, and endless desire have hidden it from your view. Many people spend their whole lives trying to improve themselves. They read countless books, they attend seminars, they follow endless advice. They become experts at fixing every weakness. But very few stop to ask, who is the one trying so hard to become better? The mind always believes, I will finally be enough after I change one more thing. But awareness quietly says, you have always been enough to begin this journey. Notice something. Every time you believed you were broken, who noticed that thought? Every time you felt afraid, who was aware of the fear? Every time your heart was filled with sadness, who quietly watched those emotions come and go? There has always been something inside you that was never damaged by your experiences. Life may have wounded your heart. People may have disappointed you. Dreams may have fallen apart. You may have lost people you loved. You may have cried in silence while nobody knew your pain. But through every chapter of your life, there was a silent presence, watching, patient, still, unchanging. That presence is closer to you than your own thoughts. Yet because it is so quiet, most people never notice it. The mind loves noise. It loves constant activity. It loves problems to solve. It loves stories to repeat. Awareness asks for nothing. It simply waits. It waits while the mind runs in circles. It waits while you chase another goal. It waits while you compare yourself with everyone around you. It waits while you search for happiness in places where it can never stay. It never becomes impatient. It never abandons you. It never says, "You are too late." No matter how many years you have spent running, the door back to yourself has never closed. This is why awakening is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering what has always been true. Think about someone who falls asleep during a long journey. While they are dreaming, everything feels real. They laugh, they cry, they become frightened, they believe every part of the dream. Then they wake up. The dream disappears instantly, not because they fought it, not because they destroyed it, but because they became aware. The Buddha compared much of human suffering to this. We dream that our worth depends on success. We dream that happiness lives in another person. We dream that we are nothing more than our thoughts. We dream that we must become perfect before we deserve peace. Then awareness gently wakes us. Nothing outside has changed. The world is still the same. But we are no longer trapped inside the dream. For the first time, we see clearly. We understand that peace was never waiting at the end of the road. It was quietly walking beside us the entire time. Perhaps today, you are still searching for the perfect relationship, searching for complete certainty, searching for a life without pain, searching for the version of yourself that finally feels enough. There is nothing wrong with having dreams. There is nothing wrong with building a meaningful life. The Buddha never asked people to stop living. He invited them to stop losing themselves while living. Build your career. Love deeply. Help others. Learn. Create. Explore the world. But never forget the one who is experiencing all of it. Never become so busy creating a life that you forget the one who is living it. Because one day, your achievements will become memories, your possessions will belong to someone else, your appearance will change, people will come into your life. People will leave. Every chapter will eventually come to an end, but the awareness that has witnessed every chapter will remain. That is your greatest treasure. That is your quiet home. That is the place no disappointment can destroy. No failure can reduce, no praise can increase, no opinion can define. When you finally discover this, something extraordinary happens. You stop trying to become worthy. You realize your worth was never missing. You stop asking the world to complete you. You realize you were never incomplete. You stop chasing every passing desire. You begin choosing what truly matters. You stop fighting yourself, and for the first time, you become your own closest friend. This is the freedom the Buddha pointed toward, not a life without challenges, not a life without change, but a life where your peace is no longer held hostage by the outside world, a life where you no longer need constant approval to feel valuable, a life where silence no longer feels empty, because it becomes the place where you finally meet yourself. So before this journey ends, ask yourself one final question. If I stopped trying to become someone else, who would I discover? Sit with that question. Do not rush to answer it. Let it become part of your daily life, because every moment of honest awareness brings you one step closer to the truth, and the truth is beautifully simple. The person you have been searching for, the peace you have been chasing, the love you have been longing to receive, the home you have been trying to find, was never somewhere else. It has been quietly waiting within you, from your very first breath. And perhaps the greatest journey you will ever take is not across the world. It is the gentle journey back to yourself. The greatest journey is not changing your life, it is remembering who you have always been. If you asked most people, what is the purpose of life, you would hear many different answers. Some would say success. Some would say happiness. Some would say love. Others would say wealth, freedom, or leaving behind a great legacy. There is nothing wrong with these things. They can all become beautiful parts of a meaningful life. But the Buddha gently pointed toward something even deeper. He taught that the greatest journey a human being can ever take is not the journey across the world. It is the journey back to themselves. Think about how much effort people spend trying to change their lives. They move to new cities. They change jobs. They buy new things. They start new relationships. They set bigger goals. They read more books. They follow new teachers. They hope that if enough things change on the outside, something inside will finally feel complete. Sometimes those changes bring happiness. Sometimes they open new doors. But have you noticed something? No matter where you go, you always take your mind with you. A person can move to the most beautiful place on earth, yet still carry anxiety. They can earn millions of dollars, yet still feel empty. They can be surrounded by people who love them, yet still feel lonely inside. This is because changing your surroundings is not the same as changing your relationship with yourself. Imagine carrying a cracked mirror everywhere you go, every place you visit, every person you meet, every beautiful view you admire appears broken inside that mirror. After a while, you begin believing that the whole world is broken, but the world was never the problem. The mirror was. Many people spend years trying to fix the world they see without realizing that the way they see the world is being shaped by the condition of their own mind. When fear fills the mind, everything begins to look dangerous. When anger fills the mind, everything begins to look unfair. When comparison fills the mind, nothing ever feels enough. But when awareness becomes clear, life itself begins to look different. The world has not changed. You have. This is why the Buddha encouraged people to understand the mind before trying to control the world. Because your experience of life is created far more by the way you see than by what you see. Think back to the person you were 10 years ago. Your dreams were different. Your fears were different. Your opinions were different. Many things that once seemed incredibly important no longer matter. The person you argued with. The mistake you could not stop thinking about. The things you believed you absolutely had to achieve. Time quietly changed your perspective. Now imagine looking 10 years into the future. Many of the worries keeping you awake tonight will probably seem just as small, yet today, your mind tells you they are everything. This is why awareness is so powerful. Awareness allows you to step back from the drama created by the mind. It reminds you that every season eventually passes, every emotion changes, every chapter comes to an end. Even the hardest pain will not stay forever. Many people believe awakening is a dramatic event. They imagine that one morning they will suddenly become completely peaceful. They will never feel fear again, never become angry again, never experience sadness again. But real awakening is much quieter than that. It happens in ordinary moments. It happens when you notice your thoughts, without becoming trapped inside them. It happens when someone criticizes you, and you no longer feel the need to defend your entire identity. It happens when life does not follow your plans, yet your inner peace remains untouched. It happens when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this moment trying to teach me?" Little by little, your relationship with life begins to change. You stop seeing every challenge as an enemy. You begin seeing every challenge as a teacher. You stop seeing failure as proof that you are not enough. You begin seeing it as part of learning. You stop seeing silence as loneliness. You begin discovering that silence is where your deepest wisdom lives. This transformation does not happen because life becomes easier. It happens because your awareness becomes stronger than your fear. Imagine standing beside a river after heavy rain. The water is wild, fast, loud. If you jump into it, the current carries you away. But if you stand safely on the riverbank, you can watch the water without being pulled by it. Your thoughts are that river. Your awareness is the riverbank. Most people spend their lives drowning in every thought that appears. Awareness teaches you to stand on the shore, to observe without becoming lost, to understand without becoming overwhelmed. This does not make you cold. It does not make you distant. It makes you free. Because freedom is not the absence of emotion. Freedom is the ability to experience emotion without becoming its prisoner. The beautiful truth is that you do not have to become another person to experience this freedom. You only have to remember what has always been present. Everything you have learned in this journey has been pointing toward one simple realization. You do not need another identity. You do not need another mask. You do not need another role to play. You do not need another person to complete you. What you truly need is to stop forgetting yourself. The world will continue changing. People will continue coming and going. Success will rise and fall. Your body will grow older. Your circumstances will never remain exactly the same. But there is something within you that has quietly witnessed every stage of your life. It watched your first memories. It watched your greatest victories. It watched your deepest heartbreaks. It watched every chapter begin and every chapter end. That silent awareness has never abandoned you. It has waited patiently through every mistake, through every fear, through every season of confusion, not judging you, not rushing you, simply waiting for the moment you finally turn around and notice it. Perhaps that moment is now. Perhaps the search that brought you to this video was never really about finding new answers. Perhaps it was about remembering a truth your heart has always known. The person you have been trying so hard to become was never more important than the person you have quietly been all along. Because the greatest transformation is not becoming someone new. The greatest transformation is finally seeing yourself clearly. And when that happens, life does not become perfect, but it becomes real. You stop chasing every illusion. You stop running from yourself. You stop waiting for tomorrow to give you permission to feel whole. Instead, you begin living with a quiet confidence that no success can give, and no failure can take away, because you finally understand the greatest journey was never about finding a better version of yourself. It was always about coming home to the one who has been waiting for you since your very first breath. Before you leave, take one slow breath and ask yourself one simple question. If I stopped searching outside, Who would I discover within? Do not rush to answer it. Let that question stay with you, because the greatest wisdom is not found by collecting more ideas. It is found by quietly discovering yourself. The Buddha taught that peace is not something you chase, it is something you uncover when the noise of the mind becomes quiet. If this journey helped you see yourself a little more clearly, share it with someone who may still be searching in the wrong places. And if you want to continue walking the path of awareness, inner peace, and true freedom, subscribe to the channel and join us on the next journey. Until then, be patient with yourself, be present with each moment, and remember, the person you have been searching for has been within you all along.